All right, so in October 2021, we were no longer allowed to get on an airplane as well as a train. Of course, today is June 14th, Tuesday. That's right, it's a big Tuesday. We're going to find out today whether or not we are now allowed to go on to planes and trains. I got a little smile on my face because it's absolutely absurd, but this is the world that we live in Canada. That's right. While the whole world has moved on from what has occurred, we here in Canada are stuck. We're stuck in time, right? Superman has actually slowed the globe and the earth has stopped spinning for us Canadians. Well, let's take a look. Ezra Levant from Rebel News, he's put up a little post over here on Twitter explaining why he thinks, specifically, this is the reasoning he has in his mind, why now we're going to be, why is Trudeau ending the no-fly list for his unvaccinated enemies? In February, the trucker convoy broke the false consciousness that an endless lockdown was accepted by all Canadians. The political parties, the media, the courts, and businesses had perpetrated that falsehood. And that's right. Okay, it was really the Freedom Truckers convoy that changed anything. That's my point of view, 100%. Before that, you felt like you were alone. You felt like you were crazy. And that really showed us that we're not alone. That and nobody really was standing up. Okay, not in the media, not in any newspaper. You were getting banned everywhere you went if you said anything against this. And, heaven forbid you said anything at work. That would lead usually to summarily being dismissed or other sanctions levied upon you. So people were very quiet, but also very angry. And it was boiling and fomenting and under the surface. And then it finally bubbled up and the Freedom Truckers convoy happened. And we all went down to that. And that was fantastic. That was one of the top highlights of my adult life. And the truckers removed Erin O'Toole, Trudeau's conservative lockdown collaborator. Well, this is it, right? Mr. O'Toole, I felt this guy, in my head, I still got this picture, he's wearing these fancy socks, just like Mr. Fancy Socks in charge. So they were hand in glove, right? He was not an actual alternative. Next over here, he says, number 3, but still Trudeau persisted as every other country abandoned lockdowns. Canada went rogue, and why not? Jagmeet Singh, his real name actually is Jimmy Dhaliwal. I want to put that out there. Jagmeet Singh gave Trudeau an effective majority, and 99% of journalists were on the take with his bailout. That's right. They've got all kinds of, and I've covered that before, tons of money being given to the media, and then you wonder why they spout exactly what the government wants them to say, right? It's a really funny coincidence, isn't it? No judge stopped him. Really, why would Trudeau relent? Great point. WestJet's new CEO, a foreigner unfamiliar with the submissive obedience of our corporate class, called for the end of mandates. His cowardly counterpart at Air Canada knew better than to challenge Trudeau. Every CEO was silent, and if they weren't, who cares? Not Trudeau. Okay, let's dig that up over here. You got Alexis von Hoschenbrache, CEO at WestJet. Vaccine mandates for air travelers and employers need to be dropped as vaccines are not, and I'm not going to continue. You can read it right there on the screen. There is no more logic to maintain it. This will also relax some of the operational challenges at the airports. So this is just a couple days ago. This is about 2 weeks ago he posted this, and I was offline for a bit, but so I missed this, but that's interesting right there. WestJet CEO saying that. Let's continue. Number 5, but just as the truckers were an unexpected savior, so was an American hockey player turned journalist, Ryan Whitney. He was trapped in Toronto's airport for a full day and made a viral video about it, more than 2 million views.
Yeah, I'm so in shock at this place. It is the biggest disgrace known to man.
Yeah, that's right. The biggest disgrace known to man, Toronto Pearson Airport. Do not go there if you value your sanity. Number 6, like all insecure Canadians, Trudeau cares more about what foreigners think than what we think. Especially someone cool like a former hockey player, now a viral journalist. That video tipped the scales, and the bumbling transport minister Omar Algebra just made it worse. Let's take a look at Omar Algebra. This guy is funny. He's a really squirrely dude. This is from Rebel News right over here. They posted this up. This guy's a really squirrely little weasel-looking fella. Take a look at this.
But the science changes. Ontario is not the same as the federal. Do you have different scientists?
Have a good evening.
Different scientists?
Sir, is there any hope for unvaccinated travelers anytime soon?
China
Have a good evening. Have a good evening. Yes, have a good evening. I am here. I have come from India to absolutely take your rights. I've come from Pakistan. Omar Algebra is my name. I have come from some kind of Asian country, Middle East. I have come very much to take away every one of your rights. That's right. Okay.
Do you have like different scientists?
Have a good evening.
Do you have different scientists?
These guys are
You didn't answer
amazing.
one question, sir. You've been elected by the people.
Sir,
You
is
want
there
answers.
any hope?
This is amazing. You know what I mean? These guys are something else. These guys are absolutely something else. I find it astonishing and sick at the very same time. All right, let's continue over here. Number 7, but the acute reason the mandates are being dropped tomorrow is that Trudeau just violated the law himself. He was in the U.S. again on another vacation, and he came back with this very same medical ailment. Hang on, that's illegal. You can't enter Canada if you have had this medical ailment. Trudeau just did. Interesting. Very interesting. He's broken the laws before. When he came back from another jaunt last year, he left quarantine when he got bored. Again, illegal for you or me, but he's above the law. Because that's why tomorrow will be free. Not because of the Conservatives who supported the no-fly list and other segregation until 5 minutes ago. And this is the really sad part, is that there hasn't been any political party, apart from the ones that have been the small ones that have been grassroots, right? New Blue in Ontario, Maxime Bernier's PPC. Apart from them, there's not really been anybody pushing and saying, hey, the real Conservatives, in terms of the PC party or whatever, they haven't actually really stood up. Okay, they were very gun shy. They were really shy to do anything at all. Until recently, and Pierre Poilievre has been talking recently, and I'm going to show a video here in a minute. But until then, there hasn't really been anything going on. Not because of the courts that have never said no to Trudeau, not because of the media that have called for harsher lockdowns. It's, government and media working together to take away all of our rights. That's what's been happening. There you go. And the JCCF will continue to fight this. Brian Peckford is bringing a challenge in the fall time. Okay, so that's something also to remember here. The Supreme Courts have not heard a single lockdown case in 2 years. So much for the charter. What a lie. Yeah, it's really sad, really sick. Government cannot at all give you rights. You got to remember that, right? This is just something to remember all the time. They can only try to take your rights. We're born free. God gave us our rights. They're God-given rights, right? The government can only attempt to take our rights from us. And this is the last thing I wanted to show over here. Pierre Poilievre, right, really saying the right thing, man. I mean, he walks through here, right through Pearson, and it's a fantastic video. This is political mastery, really, truly.
Freedom makes us all better off. Let's move forward to unite for freedom, and for God's sake.
You know what? And Pierre Poilievre over here in this video, and if you haven't watched this, check this one out. This has been doing the rounds. It's great. The guy really, really hits it over here. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. How much trust do I have in politicians today? We know the PC party, that were quiet all during the last 2 years. So you tell me. I think freedom comes from us, from the people, okay? In terms of we got to fight for our own freedom. It's God-given, but we got to fight for our own freedom. But having said that, the pendulum is swinging the other way, and I believe that this fellow is most likely going to win in the next election. It's just the pendulum is swinging. That's my personal belief. Number 18, I'll add this video for the list of reasons. This is the clearest condemnation of the airport meltdown ever put, and it's gone viral. This was doing real political damage to Trudeau, and they wanted to take away an issue from Poilievre, and I believe that's the case, right? Let's stop this, right? Let everyone go on the planes. And then Pierre Poilievre, he loses this issue that he's using to get popularity. So it's politics, okay? But that's how these things are done. There's a fellow over here, Montreal Mark, who writes, it's also a distraction from C-11. Bill C-11 basically is set to take away your ability to speak freely on the internet. So that's a huge issue right there. That's a massive issue. We will be streaming on Friday, okay, at 9 p.m. Eastern. Friday is going to be Pan, myself, Gat Tai. We are going live. We're going to be talking about all these kind of issues. So please be sure to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's Friday, live stream. Hail, brethren. H for honor, A for accountability, I for integrity, and L for loyalty. Hail, Canada. Strong and free. Hail, brethren.